So, I mean, it really almost makes you ask the question, would it have been better if we never invented the internet and had to use paper and pencil or whatever? And that's a stupid thing to say, but it has genuine consequence.
Libertarians and cybersecurity experts are raising eyebrows about a proposed law giving the president a virtual kill switch on the internet. The bill has some provisions for private sector involvement, but not other branches of government. National correspondent Catherine Harridge has the story of what some people feel is another example of big brotherism. We report, you decide.
8 years ago this month, as America came under attack, then President Bush grounded all aircraft around the country. No one knew, not even the government, when the next team of al-Qaeda hijackers would strike. Under a new piece of legislation being considered by the Senate, it is this type of emergency where President Obama might limit American access to the internet.
There are already provisions, I believe, and most of the folks in the business and the government believe, that give the powers to the president that allow him to effectively do what needs to be done in times of national emergency. The real ambiguity is what's the tripwire for making it a national emergency?
And that is the sticking point, according to critics, about the Cybersecurity Act of 2009, sponsored by Senator Jay Rockefeller, Democrat of West Virginia. A revamped version of the legislation would allow the president to declare a cybersecurity emergency relating to non-governmental computer networks, and it would allow the president to do what is necessary to respond. But the question remains, what constitutes a cybersecurity emergency? And would it allow the government to reach as far as your home computer?
The bill is actually an improvement over the original version of the bill.
Greg Nojheim is the senior counsel for the Center for Democracy and Technology, a group that wants the internet to remain open, innovative, and free.
That the president can tell agencies what they ought to do. But when it comes to the president directing the private sector, well, that does raise not only competitive concerns, but significant civil liberties concerns as well.
It was just last summer that the worst-case scenario played out. As Russian tanks rolled into Georgia, a silent and some analysts say more damaging attack was being waged on the internet to cripple the Georgian government's ability to communicate and effectively respond. It is this type of 21st century attack, likely in the future, which is why analysts say the government must clarify the lines of authority. So does it amount to Big Brother?
I would be troubled if the president did not have some sort of emergency powers, and so I applaud the effort. But again, there needs to be caution. We are applying familiar terms with unfamiliar definitions. If the president did not have some sort of emergency powers, and so I applaud the effort. But again, there needs to be caution. We are applying familiar terms with unfamiliar definitions.
A spokeswoman for Senator Rockefeller says the bill will not empower a, quote, government shutdown or takeover of the internet, adding that any suggestion otherwise is misleading. Rockefeller's office emphasized that the president has always had the constitutional authority to direct the nation's response in an emergency. In Washington.
So, I mean, it really almost makes you ask the question, would it have been better if we never invented the internet and had to use paper and pencil or whatever? And that's a stupid thing to say, but it has genuine consequence.
It is as simple and scary as this. YouTube videos as a connection between young men and gun-toting radicals.
YouTube is sort of that, could be that first hit for some people simply because of the mere scale and size of it. But it's going to be just that initial hit, and then they're going to move on into deeper levels.
Pakistani police say it's exactly what happened in the case of 5 Americans arrested there last week. The police say the men, aged from 18 to 25, were on their way to terror training camps. But why would an average youngster even look at a radical video?
A friend might encourage the kid to look at a He visits the site, he sees the video is well produced, it's compelling, he sees there are lots of comments on the site, all of them in English, and soon he starts commenting as well.
After that, it's a very slippery slope, say terror experts. Extremists are watching online chats, looking for potential new recruits.
It sort of provides a filtering opportunity for them. They are able to sort of push out their message, see who responds to it.
It's getting the conversation and the videos together that's making the difference. According to CIA veteran Mark Sageman, no one ever got radicalized watching videos alone.
YouTube, the various videos that are posted are very important in terms of seeing them, but then it's really discussing their significance with your friends that in a sense, drive the point home as opposed to just watching them.
What's making YouTube such a powerful tool for the internet radicalizers is the built-in social networking media. Look at this, Revolution Muslim, an American group, 296 subscribers. Look at those subscribers here. We'll choose one of them, Lone Wolf. Go into his account. He's posting his own videos supporting Al-Qaeda here. Go down, we see his comments. Here he's supporting the Fort Hood shooter. And we go down even further, and this is what worries the terror experts the most. The conversations he's having with the other jihadists out there, this networking that's going on.
It's something very appealing. For a kid to do who's looking at his menu of options when he's seeking to rebel, when he's looking for that path out of his self-conceived terrible situation, and boom, there it is.
And online peer pressure works like anywhere else. Only here, peers can be anyone, any place in the world. New friends, a big appeal for alienated, isolated youngsters.
Suddenly they're not alone. They're going to do something that 20 other people, 100 other people have said, yes, this is good, this is important, and can be that pivotal point that pushes them over the line.
We contacted YouTube, and a spokesman told us they have 20 hours of video uploaded every minute, every day, and more chats going on than they can monitor. They say the site bans incitement of specific serious acts of violence, but they can't stop the postings before they happen. They rely on users to police the site and flag offending material. At Homeland Security, they don't have any simple answers either.
I think that's fair to say that the social media is having an impact. It is an illustration of how this is a changing environment.
Can I ask you how you stop this sort of social chatter that...
This is a changing environment.
Can I ask you how you stop this sort of social chatter that it becomes radicalized, that is used for radicalization? How do you sort of single that out?
I don't have a magic bullet for that, and I don't know that anybody does. This is the dark side, and I don't know, sitting here today, that anyone has a silver bullet for it.
And for anyone with teenagers on the internet, that has to trigger concern. Nick Robertson, CNN. Washington.
Listen. I woke up this morning, so I had to make a new track. This is the difference between true stories and true facts. This right here is what waking up feels like. This is the difference between real talk and real lag. It's a treacherous road, so mind the gap. Cause they're trying to blur the lines between lies and facts. They told you